So from on exhibit design search, what we're going to see today is what you're going to learn is how to search. Obviously, it's exhibit design search, and there are multiple ways to search within exhibit design search. How to navigate through the site, the easiest way to navigate to get from point A to point B to point Z, to find details, to share information that you've discovered within exhibit design search with your colleagues or with customers, and lastly, really to sell faster. That's really the point of exhibit design search, is to allow you to find information as quickly as possible and then be able to convey that information about a display to your client so you can sell and move on to your next sale. All right, so within exhibit design search, it's really a one-stop shop of 5 exhibit industry partners. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But within exhibit design search, you've got features, and this is probably the most important part. What makes exhibit design search so powerful is that it's a distributor-branded EDS site. So although we've done all the software, all the development on the back end, so we've created this very, very powerful search tool with all this information. But the key to that, the foundation of that, is that we brand each one individually for the distributors so it reflects their look, their feel, and most importantly, their contacts. So all the communication tools within exhibit design search are really geared towards their designers, their salespeople, the principals in their company, and that communication goes directly to them. There's advanced search options, and in fact, we've just added some additional ones here in the last month. The Build My Galleries and Share, that, even if you're a power user of exhibit design search and you've participated in the EDS webinar before, you're really going to see some pretty cool changes to how you build My Galleries and what's included within that. Obviously, design details, descriptions, and accessories, setup instructions, graphic DIMs, renderings, photos, audio, and video, all the things that you need and your client needs to become immersed in exhibit design search and really find the products they want and feel confident that the company they're working with has all the answers. So there are 31 galleries within exhibit design search and 5 industry suppliers. So why are there 5 industry suppliers within exhibit design search? Well, in the very beginning, when we started this in the very formative stages, we recognized that we wanted to create a tool that was kind of a one-stop shop for our distributors and for their customers. But we also recognized that Classic isn't a manufacturer that has all products within that kind of portable modular world, the hybrid world. We don't do all things. We don't really do banner stands, traditional banner stands. We don't do table throws, no flooring, no kind of electrical in the sense of stem lights. That those were products that there were suppliers out there that we trusted, and we invited those suppliers to join us in exhibit design search. We created and we do all the software, we do all the development, but those suppliers are responsible for their own galleries, for putting the information in those galleries and for pricing those individual products. And as distributors out there, we wanted to make it as cost-effective as possible too. So rather than having you order those particular products from those companies through Classic, we simply created those galleries, or we invited those companies in, and you order those products directly from those companies. So Classic makes no money off of those products. They're there within that gallery or within EDS so that you have a one-stop shop. All right, so what are those galleries? And we made it really easy for you to identify them. So all the galleries are Classic exhibits except Ecosystem Sustainable Exhibits. Those are all labeled as eSmart galleries. Again, one of the things we try to do is obscure who the manufacturer is, whether it's Classic or any of the other companies, so that your client relies on you and the information that's in there, and we want to remain completely hidden in behind the scenes. So the 2 ecosystem galleries are eSmart and Eric Albury, who's the VP of Marketing and Business Development. In just a second, we'll talk a little bit about ecosystems. There are 3 Optima galleries, banner stands and table throws, tension fabric pop-ups, and outdoor displays. And one of the ways we try to make it easy for you, if you'll notice within those galleries, those thumbnails, and when we get to the main page, it'll make sense, we put a little code behind each of the galleries. So for Optima, it's OP. So if you're in there, you'll see OP. For Brewmark, for flooring, it's BR, and they have 2 galleries, and Display Supply and Lighting, and their code is DS. Again, for those 4 companies, Ecosystems, Optima, Brewmark, and Display Supply and Lighting, you're going to contact them directly on any of the products that are within their galleries. Okay. So Exhibit Design Search has over 1,400 products. I think actually I have 3,000 photos, but I think it's actually close to 5,000. There's quick ships, specials, tips, top 20 slideshow, a My Gallery, fabric swatches, and lots more. The thing about Exhibit Design Search, what's great for distributors out there is you don't really have to do anything. You do not have to maintain it. You do not have to worry that it's up to date. We do all of that on our end. Classic and our partners do all of that on our end. And one of the things that we're committed to is making changes, adding new enhancements all the time. Something in Exhibit Design Search changes nearly every single day. And I can tell you that with complete certitude, because something happens, whether it's P5D, whether it's the addition of new products, whether it's Design Monday, things change within Exhibit Design Search every single day. So let's go to Exhibit Design Search. And before we do, I want to give Eric Aubrey a chance. Eric and Ecosystem, they're really one of our closest strategic partners out there. Give Eric a chance to kind of talk about who Ecosystems is. I think many of you are familiar with it, but there is at least a smaller group out there that may not be familiar with Ecosystems and their designs and how to work with them. Eric, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks a lot, Mel. Yeah, for those of you that don't know myself for Ecosystems, I'm Eric Alberry with Ecosystems, and yeah, Classic and Ecosystems has been a great partner for years now, and it's been really nice to kind of have the Ecosystems products on Exhibit Design Search to give you guys, the distributors, you know, a place to find you know, a multitude of different products. So you will find the Ecosystems galleries named as eSmart galleries on the main page there, and you'll see eSmart inlines and islands, and then down further you'll find eSmart accessories where you'll find counters and workstations and so forth. Obviously, one of the main reasons why we changed that to say eSmart rather than Ecosystems is simply to hide Ecosystems from the end user. We want them to go to you guys rather than us, and then kind of, you know, hide our involvement in everything, as you guys are the driving sales force behind obviously both Ecosystems and Classic. So the eSmart galleries is where you'll find all the Ecosystems products. For those of you that don't know a lot about Ecosystems or our product line, obviously, if you can tell from the name, we do specialize in eco-friendly, sustainable products. We try to make sure that these products look very, very modern, unique, and innovative, and the eco portion and the sustainability nature of these products are simply a bonus and a good kind of marketing advantage for your clients. You know, we come out with new new products and new innovations all the time. And as Mel alluded to, that is another huge advantage of Design Search is any time that we come out with a new product, a new price, a new accessory, anything, when we put that on Exhibit Design Search, you guys don't have to do anything. It automatically gets correlated to your site. I'd say that Ecosystems probably specializes in the inlines and the islands. The 10 by 10, 10 by 20s, and 20 by 20s is where probably our bread and butter is. You can see as Mel's kind of scrolling through some of the designs here, very, very innovative designs, very reconfigurable. Most of the clients that we work with want to see different configurations. And also, we don't have a ton. I mean, we have a few hundred, but not a few thousand products on Design Search here. So I'd say what we do the most is probably what we call kit-to-custom or customized solutions. So if you see any of these smart displays online here that you like, but maybe don't love, that's the green light to work with our design team, and for no charge to our distributors, free of charge, we will redesign any of these units, brand them with your client's logo, and send you kind of customized versions of any of these products here to present to your client. Obviously, all of these are going to be, you know, built with sustainability in mind, and green products and materials. All of that information can be found on the main Ecosystems website, ecosystemsdisplays.com, and it's just a really nice extra couple of galleries to show clients, whether they are really into the sustainable natured products, or just want a different design, feel. We have a great team of designers that are designing every product that you're seeing here on the eSmart galleries, and they're just a little bit different, obviously, than any other design team, design feature, or other company of what you're seeing online there. So Mel's going to kind of go through the same sort of where you'll find the pricing, where you'll find the photos, where you'll find all the pertinent information for the ecosystems products is going to be the same for the classic products. And Mel will go through a little bit more about that here right now.
Thank you very, very much, Eric. One of the things that Eric didn't point out, and I want to make sure that there's no misconception about that, the ecosystem products are competitively priced. You'll find the price of the ecosystems designs are comparable to the classic prices out there. So whenever you're looking for a hybrid design or new designs, I encourage you to not only look through the classic products, but look through the eSmart products, the ecosystem products as well. Again, they have a very different design sense than our designers do here at Classic, so it's a good way of mixing and matching, or just presenting different or additional options to your client. All right, so let's kind of dive into exhibit design search. One of the things that we talked about in the very beginning was search. So one of the great things about searching an exhibit design search is there are multiple paths to get to where you need to go, depending on your level of granularity that you want to get. Probably the easiest way to start off for most end users is using this tool, the 10 by 10, 10 by 20 in islands. The nice thing about the 10 by 10 tool is it has a drop down, and you can search by pricing. So 10 by 10 is less than $5,000. It's going to give you a number of options within that. I think there's about 67 of that. Or you can go, the islands work the same way, that if you're looking for islands between $49,000 and $79,000, just a nice way of getting a first look of what products are out there within that price range. They can also search by display type, banner stands, rentals, islands, hanging signs within there. If those are too big and too broad of searches, the other way that they can search is by using the search tool. And within the search tool, you can either search for a specific kit, like a 1032 kit, and simply search by a specific kit, or you can go into advanced search, which is always underneath that search. Within that advanced search, you're going to see a pretty comprehensive search tool that's there. Within that search tool, it's going to let you search through a price slider by the price range that you want, by the size that you're looking for. In this case, I'm going to go back to, let me go to the start, let me reset it within example. So you can search by sizes. You can sort it by newest designs. You can sort it alphabetically, lowest to highest, highest to lowest. You can put in a text search like workstations, counters, if there are elements that you want within that. The other thing you can do, if you're really kind of a power user of exhibit design search, is you can choose which galleries that you want to search through. So right now, almost all of the purchase portions are checked. If you just want to search the rental galleries, you can just click on that and it will automatically just search the rentals. Or you can uncheck them all and maybe search through a few of the galleries out there instead of looking through every single one that's there. It allows you to really kind of, as I said, dial down or dial specifically into the types of products that you want to go. And it's all dependent on how much manipulation, how much control you want over the search. So if we go back to the home page, and this button right here will always take you back to the home page there. And on the home page is we're going to talk about some of the links that are on this particular home page. I think you saw in the beginning where we showed you all the galleries. So here are all the main galleries that are in it, the ones that, like the optimal ones like banner stands and outdoor displays, for instance, the lighting, flooring, those are all mixed within those particular ones. But before we go dive into a particular gallery and look at the details within a gallery, let's look at some of the other tools that are out there. And those tools that are out there are one, which is the My Gallery tool, and we're going to build on that. I've added some things within the My Gallery. My Gallery is the ability to build a gallery and then be able to send the items that you have added to the gallery to someone. And that can include not only products, but photos and articles as well. The next is Top 20. The Top 20 is a slideshow. It's really intended for the end user, your client, who's looking for a first glimpse of some of the products that are in Exhibit Design Search, some of the ones that are more popular. The next is Exhibit Photos, and we'll go into Exhibit Photos in much more detail here in a little bit. But Exhibit Photos takes you into a gallery called Past 5 Days. And we started Past 5 Days a very, very long time ago. In fact, we started it on September 16th, 2006. And since then, every single day, with maybe one or two exceptions out there, we have added a photo within P5D showing you one of the projects that's going through Classic Exhibits. Not all of the projects that are going through it, but a sample one for that particular day. Well, one of the great things about having that kind of photo gallery is it allows us then to link those photos to the specific kits so that when you're looking at a kit, you can see real examples of those particular products that are in of real photo products that people can see. They can see how others have done it by the graphics they've done it. They can see the type of kits they made. And I'll show you that when we get to SACAGAWEA and we go into one of those kits. But within P5D, you've got the ability to search just like you do anywhere else by sizes and by text search. You can even, if you want, there's a randomizer button that you can search randomly over the past 8 years, and it will randomly go through all those photos and show you projects that are out there. So the next item within that list is the trade show tips. The trade show tips is over 50 articles that are for mostly for people who are new to the industry, for clients who are not familiar with trade show marketing. It gives them a series of articles like 10 common trade show myths. Trade shows are like first date, how to use trade show incentives. Just a lot of articles out there that your client can read, and they're fairly short articles that talk about trade show marketing. In addition, you've got exhibit specials. Exhibit specials last anywhere from 30 days to 60 days, and you've got a gallery of specials. These specials are also reflected in the individual galleries, but then when we put them on special, they're in a separate gallery as well, so you can see them all collected together. Now the difference is where you've got exhibit specials and lightning deals. Now lightning deals only last a week, and they are more aggressively priced deals than the exhibit specials, and there's only one lightning deal per week on per kit. So if you're interested in seeing what the most aggressively priced product is within Exhibit Design Search every week, you want to go to the lightning deal. There's a distributor locator that's only on the Classic site. That's not on the individually branded distributor sites. There are frequently asked questions that will take you to an FAQ page. You can see you've got a whole list of FAQs there. You've got quick ship displays. There's another example of the advanced search. Fabric color swatches, lead time matrix, exhibit weight, electrical cord management, and requested design. And I won't go into, for the sake of the amount of time we have, I won't go into each one of those, but just know that those are all out there. So let's go back to the home page again. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into one of the galleries, which I think is a great example of kind of showing you all the things that a gallery can encompass within a product line. So we're going to go into SACAGAWEA. And within SACAGAWEA, let's go into, as you can see, you've got all the products that were within the SACAGAWEA line. You have the ability to look at just the 10 by 10s and the 10 by 20s. You can see there's also the search button there like you saw on the home page. There's the ability to return home and the advanced search. But let's go into VK 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What we've tried to do within the individual kits or the individual products is layer the information in such a way that you get just the information you need, or the client gets just the information they want at the point that they need it. What does that mean? Well, what it means is we're going to give you, on that first level look, we're going to give you the renderings, the pretty pictures. We're going to give you multiple views of those pretty pictures. We're going to show you other products that or alternate versions of it, what the packaging looks like. Here's the 10 by 20 within that. We're going to give you all those pretty pictures. The other thing we're going to give you is there's almost always a link that says See Photo Examples. And if you click on See Photo Examples, what it does, it takes you to a search within the past 5 days. And within that search, it's going to show you examples of SACAGAWEA kits that have been done. And you can see there are lots and lots of examples. In this case, in SACAGAWEA, there are 10 per page, and you can see there are 15 pages, so 150 examples. One of the great things about that is that your client's not only seeing this is a real product, this real product's being built, but they're seeing lots of examples of other people have done graphics. And I really encourage you to use the P5DD and use that with your clients, because there are, as we've all experienced, there are examples where graphics are done extraordinarily well, and there are examples where graphics are not done so well. And it's a good learning experience for your client if they're not familiar with, especially the graphic designer, on how to design for a trade show exhibit, whereas their focus has more been web or print. These are great examples of successful ones and not successful ones. When you're in P5D, or you're able to add to My Gallery, and so let's add a couple of these photos to My Gallery. And you'll notice the moment you click on it, the My Gallery button disappears. So let's go back to the kit. Within the kit, there's also the bullet points. And this information here is so critical, because it's going to tell you exactly what's included within that kit. And it's going to give you hyperlinks to sub-products or to products that are part of that kit, whether it's the VK1001 modular counter that will take you to more details about that particular counter. So you've got an enormous number of hyperlinks within there. At one point, I think we did an analysis, and there were like 87,000 links within Exhibit Design Search. So you've got all of these links that will tell you what's within it. It will tell you how it's assembled. This one, in case of the portable assembly, attached knobs with some hex key connections, what it excludes, in this case the monitor, everything else is included, where it's made, what the weight is. In addition to that, there's also information. It will always give you the price. The price is always in retail. It's important to remember that. It's always in a retail price, because this is an outwardly facing site. Exhibit Design Search is intended for you to use with your clients. So we always put it prices in retail. There may be links in there that will show you an alternate version of that particular product. That particular one has a different counter, so you can look at a different counter of that particular one. Then you have links that will tell you the lead time. You can view similar designs. You can add it to My Gallery. Then there's also communication buttons there where you can click on Share. And when you click on Share, it's going to bring up the ability to email that design to a person or multiple persons. So you can send it to sue@abc.com or jill@xyz.com. You just have to put a comma between each one of those email addresses. You'll put your name in there. You'll put you'll put your email. You'll put the recipient emails, and you'll put a message. It's going to send that design to that person, and it's going to be coming from you. And the link that it's attached is going to be linking back to your specific Exhibit Design Search site. So they're always driven back to your Exhibit Design Search site. So that's a way to share a particular design. I'm going to show you in a second how to share multiple designs through My Gallery. In addition, you have a Contact Us, and that's simply a contact page. And again, when you fill out that Contact Us page, or your client does, that information is going to the person or persons who've been designated as a primary contact at that distributor, at your particular place. The next one is also a request to design, and that works exactly the same way. This is the design worksheet that asks very typical design-related questions: when the show is, what size do you need. It even gives you a chance to kind of upload files, logos, those kind of things. And when they complete that and do the caption and send it, again, it'll go to the person or persons at that distributor who are supposed to get that information. And that information is all designated when the exhibit design search site is set up on for the first time. And it can change at any time as well. Below that, there's a couple of different kind of tools there. Part of the thing that we're trying to do is within exhibit design search, there's a little bit of, shall we say, kind of marketing magic going on, in the sense that we want your client to be engaged as long as possible on your site in your exhibit design search. So we find multiple ways of engaging them. To some extent, it's pretty pictures, it's rendering, it's photos, it's the text. In addition, on most things, we've also added audio clips.
The affordable SACAGAWEA Hybrid is a contemporary display designed with lightweight engineered aluminum and vibrant tension fabric graphics. Using knob-assisted.
Those audio clips are anywhere from about 30 to 45 seconds. They're all done by professional voice talent. So if your client is more geared towards hearing about the product, there's audio clips about it. Most of the products out there also have videos. The videos will be anywhere from less than a minute to about 3 minutes. Some are animation, some are actual kind of videos of us setting the booth up or talking about the booth. Again, it's another way of engaging your client. So that is kind of that first level look of what your client needs. The next tab, if your client says, you know, I think I'm really interested in this product, can you tell me a little bit more about it? The next tab is the description tab. Within that description tab, you're going to see there's more of a kind of paragraph-formed description of that particular product that mimics a little bit of what the audio clip would have been, that tells them something in a paragraph form about it. It gives them the benefit of features. The audio button is there as well. And there's also a send me more information button, which is pretty much the contact information. Now, if they're at the point that they're saying, well, that's great, I really like that information, really kind of tell me what goes along with it, what's included with it, then they click on the next button, which is accessories and options. At that point, you can see what those are. And if they're at the point that they're really saying, okay, this is the product I want, the only thing I need to know now is, can you kind of tell me, how does the product set up, what are the graphic DIMMs, and I may have a few other questions, what are the warranties? Well, that's the last tab, which is Docs and DIMMs. Within Docs and DIMMs, you'll have PDFs of setup instructions. And here's a great example of that. You can see the setup instructions within there. There's graphic DIMM, it's also a PDF. There's fabric options. You'll see that there's FAQs. You click on the FAQs for answers. You have the product warranty. In addition, there's information about lead times, what lead time means, the exhibit weight, and really on exhibit weight, what we're kind of telling you is you want to know what it weighs, but what you really want to know is how much does it cost to ship this product? Well, in order for us, all of us, to determine what it's going to cost to ship it, there's things we need to know. Is it dimensional weight versus actual weight? Portable cases versus wood crates versus molded tubs? What's the freight carrier and what's the freight level service? That information is all there, hopefully to make your job easier and to educate your client a little bit more on what information is required before that information can be provided. And the last one is kind of a gentle nudge for all of us about electrical and cord management, to think about those elements of it as you're ordering the booth or as the client is ordering the booth, to make sure that they think through all the electrical and cord management, because it's certainly much cheaper, much cheaper, as we all know, to have all that taken care of in our facility here when it's in the project management and the build stage than it is once it gets to the show and someone has to drill a grommet hole for $350. All right, I'm going to go back to the design detail page here. And one of the things that I want to go into is really the My Gallery. So we talked about the My Gallery, and let me go back to the product gallery here. All right. Within the product gallery, let me add a couple more items to the My Gallery. And each time you add to it, you'll see that the My Gallery disappears. Now let's go into My Gallery. I currently have 11 items in My Gallery. And I added a few things before we started the webinar, but here are items that I've added to My Gallery. And I've got a series of renderings. I've got some photos in there. And I've even added a couple articles, the ABCs of trade show and exhibit marketing, what not to wear at a trade show. Those are all within My Gallery. Now you have the ability from there to check or uncheck any of those. And if you're wondering what gets sent, this is the information gets sent. This is a larger image of this information, and then all the details that get sent to the client. But you have the ability to remove an item if you didn't want it in the gallery, or to simply uncheck it because you don't want to email it when you send it. When you go to Send My Selections, now here is just a great addition that we've made to Exhibit Design Search. There are two ways to send a My Gallery to someone. And the first one's really straightforward and very simple. That's complete the My Gallery form. Very similar to the other communication tools we've talked about. You're going to put the recipient's email or emails in there, separated by a comma, your email, your name, and a message, and then you're going to complete the CAPTCHA and hit send, and it's going to send it to them. They will get it in an email from you. A lot of times it'll go into the junk folder. You need to let them know it's in there, but they'll get it in there, and they'll get an email that shows all those detailed information, all the images, all that. The other way to do it, and you need to be patient with me when I explain this to you, the other one is actually a much more powerful tool. And it's called the URL send. So in the URL send, all you have to do is highlight the URL. And if you copy that URL and you paste that URL into an email and send it to someone, when they click on that URL, because that URL has a unique identifier number for the gallery you've built. And in this case, it's coming from Classic. In your case, it's going to come from your specific Exhibit Design Search site. So it has a unique identifier. When they click on that URL, it's bringing up that gallery in its real form. It's taking them back to your Exhibit Design Search, and it's opening up the gallery there so they have it. So that's the first part of it that's really cool. Now, the layering on of that makes it even more remarkable. What they can do is they can then add or delete items from the gallery that you sent them. They may say, I like these 4, I don't like these 2, but these are 2 others that make sense for me. And that will then create a new unique URL identifier. They can copy and paste that one and send it back to you so that you now see from their end how they have honed the gallery to make it even more specific for you. Now, one of the things that's really cool about it is because that URL is a unique identifier, you can create a series of galleries on your own. You can say, here is my best of the 10-foot exhibits, and create that gallery, send that URL to yourself, and that URL is a permanent gallery of what you have, that you can then go back to that URL at any point and send it to someone, and it may be the best of the best you have. So you can create a number of 10 by 10, 10 by 20 island galleries that you send to people kind of periodically, or you send when you get inquiries about, let's say someone wants a booth under $10,000, a 10-foot booth under $10,000 that is portable. You can create a gallery for yourself, and it's one that you don't have to rebuild it every single time. And the nice thing about it, again, is it's up to you whether you want to send renderings or kits, you want to send photos within it, or you want to send articles, right? So it's a very comprehensive, it's a very, very powerful tool. So I showed you how to add the items within the kits, and I showed you how to add them within the photos, or within the kits itself. Let me show you within the tips. If you're within the trade show tips, let's go to 13 common trade show mistakes. And here's an article on 13 common trade show mistakes. If we go all the way to the bottom, you'll see a link that says My Gallery. If you click on My Gallery, it has now added that item to your gallery. You saw it change from 11 to 12, and now within it, you have that within your gallery. 13 common trade show mistakes right there. All right, let's talk about one other item, two other items, and then I'm gonna give you a bonus today, and we're going to talk about some of the difference between the hybrid systems at Classic and how to tell the difference between those. But let me give you a couple interesting items that most people don't know are there. So let's go back to the home page. If you're in a particular gallery, let's say like Perfect 10, and you want to print off what you see on that page, there are two ways to do it. Most people will simply go to the browser, they'll click on the print button of the browser, and when it prints, it'll print kind of haphazardly, print on 3, 4, sometimes 5 pages, not well organized. This little button right here, this great little button here, is called a print exhibit. If you use this button, it will perfectly print that kit on 2 pages of both the image and the details on it. All right, let me show you one other tool that's outside of Exhibit Design Search, but that's part of Classic Exhibits that I want to show you that I think is useful as far as galleries. If you go to the Classic Exhibits homepage, and you go all the way down into the lower menu, there's 2 additional galleries that I want to point out. One is called a Graphic Inspiration Gallery. And the Graphic Inspiration Gallery is where our graphic designer has actually built a gallery, and this is an ongoing process. This is their first gallery. She's built a gallery that is form versus graphic, and she will show you and show your client why, in her opinion, particular items, and she explains it, and this is a good example, why this particular structure and these particular graphics go together, and she explains the merging or the meshing of those two of why they go together. So this is a great example as far as showing people graphics and products and how those work. The other gallery that works really well is, most people don't realize, but we do a lot of retail work here as well for our distributors. So there's a gallery here that shows examples of the retail-related work that we have done out there. So if you're ever interested, and this is not necessarily something that you need to show with your client, but if you're interested in seeing a lot of the retail work that we do, both from a modular, both a hybrid and a custom level, kind of glance through this particular gallery. It'll show you some really great stuff. Even environments, we've done quite a few retail environments, television sets, all of those kind of things. All right, I am going to let's go back to what's a Classic Exhibits hybrid. I get asked all the question, and I think fairly, very fairly, people ask me, what's the difference, Mel, between a Visionary Designs, a Perfect 10, a Magellan, a SACAGAWEA, and a SEGUE? And those are the 5 hybrid lines that we have. And there's a history behind why we have 5 hybrid lines, and our competitors only have 1. We don't have time in this call to do the history, but if you attend Shared Knowledge University, which we have twice a year, that's one of the things that we cover, and it's actually very interesting, and it makes a lot of sense when we go through the history of those particular hybrid lines and how they evolved over time. And I'll do a little commercial on Shared Knowledge University, which you can talk in more detail to Reed and Jen, our regional reps. Our very next one is in September. I believe it's the 3rd week of September. If you're interested in attending Shared Knowledge University, it's a 2-day intensive training here in Portland. Actually, in September, it's a beautiful time to be here. Reach out to either Jen, if you're in west of the Mississippi, or Reed if you're east of the Mississippi, and they can talk to you more about that. But let's talk about why are there so many different hybrid lines and what's the difference. Okay. First of all, what determines the price of a hybrid? It's really pretty simple, because if you think about a hybrid for us is really an engineered aluminum extrusion system with tension fabric and something other. That's really all a hybrid is those three elements. Engineered aluminum extrusion, tension fabric, and something else. There can be other graphics on it, other modular components, other custom components, but they almost always have engineered aluminum extrusion, in our case module, because we're the North American manufacturer, and tension fabric, a large format tension fabric. So what determines the price? Again, very simple. It's what extrusion is used. Is it a large extrusion or small extrusion? Is extrusion straight or it's bent? If it's bent extrusion is more expensive than non-bent. Smaller extrusions are cheaper than larger extrusions. Graphics. How large are the graphics? How many of the graphics are there, and what type of it? The larger the graphics, the more number of graphics adds to the cost. Accessories, the style and the quantity of accessories that are in it, and what packaging and assembly. So the reason that Visionary Designs is more expensive than SACAGAWEA, and all of those elements I just talked about go into that particular determination. So SACAGAWEA. SACAGAWEA is in general our lowest priced hybrid system. And it is a system that's primarily made up of Z45 and S40. S40 is primarily the upright. Z45 is primarily the horizontals. There's some exceptions to that. The leg support, for instance, the bending of that leg support is actually a Z45 on there. So a SACAGAWEA portable, what makes it? It's a smaller extrusion. It's mostly straight extrusions, and I said straight extrusions are cheaper than curved. It has one tension fabric graphic if we're looking at a 10 by 10, which is kind of a medium size. It's not 8 feet, it's about 7 feet. Accessories include things like workstations and monitor mounts. It is what we define as a knob-assisted assembly, meaning about 80 to 85% of the assembly is with attached knobs. There are a few places where you can't put knobs where knobs will be visible. In those cases, you have to use a hex key or Allen key to do it, which comes with the system. All the components are numbered, and it's packed in die-cut foam packaging, which we are renowned for in our industry. Our packaging is amazing, and we get compliments and actually kudos from it from even our competitors all the time. SACAGAWEA is an inline system, and the cheapest for a 10 by 10, for instance, starts at $37.68 retail. So Magellan is the next step up in that line. So Magellan is almost entirely built with the Z45, and it's bent either on what you consider the larger flat edge, or we call the hard edge. You can see this is bent on the wider edge, and then things like the legs you see there and that leg are bent on the hard edge, so we do the bending in both directions. Z45 is a relatively inexpensive extrusion. So we're able to build these systems and do pretty elaborate things with the Magellan line and do the curves and still have very cost-competitive exhibits. So smaller extrusions, it has straight and curved in there, so that's what makes it a little more expensive than the SACAGAWEA. The tension fabric graphics, there's more of them on it. There's two you can see in that particular one. They're larger, they're 8 feet. This is also a knob-assisted assembly, and the same elements that go with the SACAGAWEA as far as number of components, die-cut foam packaging, and it starts at about $49.50. So a little bit of a jump of about $1,000. Perfect 10. Perfect 10 primarily uses Z33, which is smaller than Z45, and S40, but it is an intensively curved system. It's also a system that is completely toolless. It's a very high design system for a modular portable modular hybrid system. And it has, as you can see, it has all the elements that we've talked about, but what makes it more expensive than a Magellan is lots more curves, lots more accessories, and it's completely a toolless system. Visionary Designs. Visionary Designs is what most of us think of as whatever you want a hybrid to be, it would fall within the Visionary Designs line. It's the most expensive. It includes inlines and islands. It includes almost all the extrusions, the 70 or 80 extrusions that we use. Each kit is unique and different. There's no kind of really kits that are kind of building blocks on one another like they are in the 3 previous ones. So you're going to see things, some that are straight with larger extrusion, some that are completely round, that have different looks. This is an example of VK1032, which is iconic to classic exhibits. And this particular one even includes square extrusions and round extrusions on it, tension fabric. It's got direct print on there, maybe vinyl. It just has a little bit of everything as far as accessories. It's kind of all the nuts and bolts. So there's kind of an explanation of visionary designs within it, kind of the same thing that you saw before, but just keep in mind that it's whatever you want an extrusion system to be, that's what visionary designs is. SEGUE is a little different. SEGUE is not based on price. It's based on silicone edge graphics. These are some of the extrusions that are used. It contains the least expensive hybrid that we manufacture, which you see right here is the SEGUE Sunrise. And it contains some of the most expensive inlines that we design because they have curves, lots of different unique looks within it. So again, it's not based on price. It's based on silicone edge graphic applications. Here is some of the details about that particular one. All right. Now, just when you think I've kind of exhausted all the hybrids, I want to remind you that beyond that, almost all the rental kits that we have within our assortment are hybrids. Almost all of them are hybrids. There are a few custom, but most are hybrids. Ecosystems, or the eSmart, are almost all hybrid-related systems, and almost all of our tabletops are hybrids as well. So aluminum extrusion, tension fabric, and other.